Yeah, so when the Ukraine war started, or when it kicked off, what, 3 years ago now? I didn't even know. I kind of wasn't even aware that Ukraine existed. It wasn't on my horizon, periphery, on my mind. Didn't really think. There's so many countries I haven't been to. Don't have the funds to explore and visit and see. Don't know anyone there. Haven't really met too many people from that place. Here in Cape Town, don't really have too many Eastern European people. Haven't met too many Russians even. So not really on my periphery. Wouldn't have known that I would care whether you know, they defeat Russia or not, or defend themselves or not. But when the war broke out, everyone thought that Russia would defeat Ukraine within 3 days. That was the claim. 3 days, and it was a massive all-out invasion of Ukraine. Massive, massive war. Massive invasion. Bombing key cities and troops massing on the borders and pouring into Ukraine. And here in Cape Town, there was KFM, Kaapse FM, I don't know. Anyway, one of the Cape radios, the radio DJ or the radio announcer, I don't know how to explain. There was a young woman from Kiev, a teenage girl from Kiev. Anyway, I don't know, Kiev, and he was in touch with her as Russia was bombing Kiev and invading and sending helicopters and fighter jets and tanks. It was a long train of tanks from the top. I think it came in from Belarus, actually, coming in from Belarus, snaking all the way down to Kiev to try and take the key city. And there were a few other places. I know all the names now: Kharkiv, Kherson, Kiev, and yeah. And they were all escaping. They were getting in cars. They were making a plan to get out. And she was talking about the chaos and people trying to get to the border, and that their country's going to fall, and Russia's invading. Please, can somebody help? And can the world intervene? And this is the most terrible thing ever. And it seemed so inevitable and terrifying, and really brought it home. And on the recordings on the radio, you could hear bombs dropping and planes flying. It was just drama and chaos. And then I started taking an interest in the war in Ukraine, but through YouTube. It exploded on YouTube, and there were suddenly all these new content creators, all these new people popping up, creating pages and channels dealing just with Kiev, or just with the war in Ukraine anyway, not Kiev. And yeah, it became a bit obsessive for about a year. And everyone was shocked and amazed, myself included, that Ukraine fought back and seemed to be winning. And they pushed Russia out the whole way out from the north of Ukraine. And then Russia had even taken over big parts of the south, and were over bridges into Kherson, a part called Kherson. They're trying to get a place called Odessa. Maybe if you're European, you know about all these spots in Eastern Europe and in Ukraine. But in little old Cape Town, we're not really we're not very involved in the rest of the world. We're isolated and separate. Yeah, and then the Ukrainians seemed to defeat Russia there. So everyone suddenly thought it flipped, where everyone thought, oh wow, Ukraine is going to win and defeat David defeated Goliath. They're going to push Russia out and win this war, and it's going to be this miracle. And they're just the most amazing, courageous, brave little country. Not even a little country, quite a big country. But yeah, now it's dragged on and on and on and on, and I'm sure it's become part of normal life. And you can get the odd little update here and there where you hear about drones blowing up buildings, and there were also all these horrific war crimes in the beginning, mass executions of people and bombing hospitals, and it's horrendous. It's just mind-boggling. Yeah, so again, interesting times to be born in a time that, and the way the Russians fight, it's like First or Second World War, where they just push untrained, older, sometimes disabled, sometimes mercenaries, just pushing people to the front to die and not caring about casualties. And if they try to turn back, if their own soldiers try to turn back, they shoot them. It's like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say shoot. Well, I'm such a small channel, who really cares? But yeah, no, it's just blows my mind. And I still occasionally want to see the odd update, even though it's very depressing. And we have no involvement in Cape Town. We can't help. We can't make it better. We can't make it worse. And me worrying about it and wondering what's going to happen doesn't make it any better. And I can't fix it. And I've maybe built it up, or the media has built it up in my head to think that if Ukraine triumphs and wins, we're all going to celebrate and be so incredibly happy for the rest of our lives, and forever and ever and ever. It'll be this amazing victory of Western democracy over old-fashioned autocratic dictatorships. And maybe that's true, but I have a sense that probably I will, life will just go back to normal, and I won't even, it won't be this amazing, I won't have this euphoric, I won't feel as euphoric or different. I'm just turning off my computer. See, it's been left on, shut down. There we go. Turning off my computer. My computer needs to be, you can see my computer shutting down. I'm turning that off. Yeah. Maybe I'm a victim of propaganda, where I think that it's important to me. And if I look back, a lot of my last 3 years with this going on, I have been very focused and interested and been watching all the news on the war. And maybe my focus could have been better spent on, my energies put into my own life and my own business and family, and who knows. Probably 3 years ago is when I became a little bit addicted to social media. And I think having my own channel and doing the odd crummy little upload, recording my memories, my stream of consciousness, my thoughts, is my first step to overcome my social media addiction. Maybe not, but I'm at least looking at it differently, where I'm thinking it's just other human beings uploading things. And yes, I get a dopamine or serotonin, I get a dopamine rush while I'm doing it, a bit of serotonin when it's a happy story or there's a bit of victory, but then it dissipates, it goes away. And whereas getting back involved in real life and doing real life things, which I do anyway, but is more rewarding and has a more lasting effect. I guess being an adult and having responsibilities is tough and scary and not pleasurable. Most adult jobs and tasks are not fun and not enjoyable. I'm not like wake up every morning like, yeah, I love being an adult. This is great. I get to feed the dogs and maintain the house, and I have to go out and make money because nobody just gives you stuff for free, and I don't have enough money for my expenses, and not everybody's happy with me today. I must have upset this one or upset that one, or there was a problem at a job, or my vehicle broke down, or a dog is sick, or the kids are bored. There's all these things. I'm not complaining. I love my life, and I've chosen everything in my life. Yeah. So, but sometimes it is nice to have an escape or a distraction, and but not always healthy. Anyway, yeah. So that's my first video on the Ukraine war. I don't know if I'm going to do any more, but just thought it was playing in my mind where I thought I want to record the experience. And it's just when you hear just an ordinary citizen of another country, and you can hear the fear in their voice and the uncertainty, and how they had their whole life planned out, and now events happened completely out of her control, destroying her whole future. And it must be terrible to be invaded by somebody. Here in Cape Town, we don't really have any neighbors who have the capacity to invade us, or would want to, touch wood. And I think we're too far away from everyone else for it to be viable for us to be invaded. And if America came along and said, hey, we want to own South Africa, they would just walk in and we don't really have much of a military. We'd just be like, okay, take it, it's yours. And maybe they'll do a better job than our government, because our government's got a very bad track record. Anyway, so people might celebrate it. Who knows? But yeah, that's my little stream of consciousness on the Ukraine war.